Small-leaf bramble, also known as Japanese or Australian raspberry, is a non-native bramble that is gaining a foothold in the eastern United States and has invasive potential. The only video about this species we've been able to find on YouTube talks about how to grow it. In this video, we're going to emphasize why not to grow it, at least if you're located outside of the native range in eastern Asia and Australia.
So I'm standing in the middle of a patch of this stuff. Boy, is it some dense stuff. Some of this almost comes up to waist height where I am. It looks like it stops at that tree line behind me, but the rest of this zone, it's really dense, and there's just not a whole lot growing up through it. It seems to have smothered almost everything here. This is a monoculture. And boy, this is not a plant I want to see showing up on my property, because this is the kind of thing that I have nightmares about trying to rip out and control.
We recently identified this apparently expanding population in a former coal strip mine in central Missouri, one of the first documented occurrences in the state, but it's been found in sporadic locations elsewhere in the country. On EdMaps, a website that tracks invasive species, it's been reported only in Minnesota. But on iNaturalist, a citizen science project mapping global biodiversity, it's been documented in a variety of North American locations. However, more populations may well be hiding in plain sight, unidentified because many people are not aware of what it looks like. Although not all of the existing iNaturalist observations may be accurate identifications, the overall pattern documents a broad range of occurrence.
The iNaturalist platform deserves credit for helping me identify this species in a reasonably timely manner. After I was pretty sure I had ruled out the Rubus possibilities that had been previously documented in Missouri with iNaturalist, I expanded my search farther afield, and after investigating a few dead ends, I settled on Rubus parvifolius as a match.
In this video, we're going to use our recently discovered central Missouri population as a case study for how a small-leaf bramble might be spreading and what factors might contribute to its invasive potential. This is Rocky Fork Lakes Conservation Area, where the landscape was highly disturbed by coal strip mining from the 1960s through 1980s, creating an open invitation to opportunistic and invasive plants of all kinds. We've found about 10 patches of small-leaf brambles so far, varying in size and extent. We don't know how it got here or how long it's been here, but its distribution and characteristics can give us some clues about how and how fast it's spreading.
So it's been a little while since this road has been mowed. And in the time since it's been mowed, this bramble has grown pretty far out into the road. There's a good 1, 2, 3 feet easily within the mow zone. Let's see if we can find out how far this cane goes. I definitely should have brought gloves for this. So, right now I'm reaching down to the next rooted location of that cane. So that's probably ground, I don't know, a good 6 feet from that root node to its tip. And some of that growth has been pretty fast since that road has been mowed.
Like many brambles, this is capable of tip rooting, another way a potentially invasive species like this can spread quickly outward. Aerial photography helps us track the bramble's spread in the big patch shown earlier. Here in 2007, it's a small patch of maybe 500 square feet. In 2011, it had expanded some up to maybe 1,000 square feet. By 2015, it had nearly doubled again to almost 2,000 square feet. And by 2019, it had doubled yet again to around 4,000 square feet. And as you just saw, in 2022, it's now doing its darndest to cross that road. Why did the bramble cross the road? Probably to make a land manager's life miserable. So that's how a patch expands, but seed is the most likely mechanism for starting a new patch.
When I first encountered this bramble, before I knew what it was, one of my first thoughts was, I hope it produces tasty berries. It didn't take me long to retract that thought, as I didn't need to know a name for this plant to recognize some of its aggressive characteristics. The plants here did flower, but this summer at least, many flowers withered without producing fruit or the seed contained therein. My limited summer visits to the area didn't reveal any ripe fruit, so I borrowed a photo from its native Australian range to show the berries. During an August visit, I did find this withered specimen, which appears to be a desiccated fruit with seeds, and seeds mean the potential for spread.
All plants are capable of reproduction and spread, but not all plants end up as problematic invasives. And predicting in advance which ones are going to be trouble is non-trivial. So the big question becomes, is small-leaf bramble aggressive enough to have invasive potential, or is it just another non-native? We're concerned by the rapid shoot growth and tip rooting we observed here. It's clearly capable of forming a monoculture and smothering other vegetation. The Rubus genus is already a proven source of problematic invasives in North America, including wineberry and Himalayan blackberry. Also, berry production on such brambles attracts birds and other animals that end up spreading seeds across the landscape. Just because something grows aggressively in a highly disturbed habitat such as an abandoned strip mine doesn't mean it's going to go bonkers elsewhere. Small-leaf bramble was documented near Springfield, Missouri back in 1989, according to Flora of Missouri, published in 2013. And back then it seemed to be spreading locally, but not raising alarm bells. We can't find any online documentation of recent or broader concerns with that population. The amount of seed being produced influences the invasive potential. Based on admittedly only 1 year of very casual observation, it doesn't appear that the Rocky Fork population is producing much fruit, though iNaturalist observations elsewhere in the US do document successful fruit set. Personal actions matter for whether plants become problematic invasives. Intentionally planting risky species makes matters much worse. If you want edible brambles, a better choice is to draw from species native to your area, such as these tasty and productive black raspberries in our garden.